had a great break. You refreshed that drink, that cocktail, coffee, tea, water, whatever it is. And I hope you're really taking a lot of great notes here. So I know I am. So I am hoping that you are as well. So with that being said, I'm looking forward to have Steven Moore on board here, and we'll get ready to get started. And he will speak about execution, that blue part of that flower. And he'll be speaking about there is good management and there is bad management. Which one are you providing? Hey, Steven, how you doing?
Doing fantastic, Angie.
Great. Are you getting the learnings that I am as well?
Yeah, I mean, it's action packed. My yellow pad's got 3 pages already going here, and it's just a great day.
Fantastic. Well, I'm excited for your topic, Steven. Take it away. The Zoom stage is yours.
All right. I really appreciate that, Angie, and thank you, Marvin and Kevin and Monty. I hope you're all getting a lot out of this. I've got a lot of content here. Execution management. No, execution is not about taking the axe. Execution is about following through. Okay, so we heard Monty talk about leadership. It's about focus. It's about passion. You'll see in the photo that I've got there, there's a coach. It's obviously a Super Bowl win. Think of all of the passion. It's based on emotion. So as a leader, as an executive, as a team leader, as a manager, all the way down through your organization, how is the emotion leading through all the way down to the, let's say, to the janitor? Does that emotion go through? So in your organization, in your business, on a scale of 1 to 10, can you rate your leadership ability and how you think it's flowing down? Let me see it in the chat box. 1 to 10. 10 being the highest. It's like, yeah, everybody's jazzed. We're going to the Super Bowl. We're going to the World Cup. We're going to win. You know, what is going on in your organization? 7 of 10. Yeah, 7, 5. Ooh, 5. It's kind of getting into the danger zone. So the danger zone, I would say, would be 1 to 6. Anything of 7 or above, it's like not bad. But how can we take it up another level? Well, after we get the emotion, then we've got to get into the management side. And in the management side, it's really management. We oversee processes. And that provides our team to be competent and productive. So unlike the emotional side, where we're all there to win and we're going the same direction and we've got core behavior and core values, this is the logical side, okay? And the logical side provides us with consistency, better efficiency. It's that well-oiled machine that we kind of all desire, right? So let's just talk about it for a minute. We don't manage people, all right? Let's just be very clear. We do not manage people. People manage processes, okay? And when we have a lack of processes, what are people going to do? So first of all, we lead people, and the management part of execution comes in that we can and we should manage their accountability and the clarity of what the process is they need to be operating, right? So how many people feel that they have a good, effective management process? Just raise your hand. I don't know if I'll see it or not, Angie, but if people are raising their hand that they feel that they're effective, okay? If you feel that you're not effective, just want you to enter in a 0 into the chat, okay? So let's start diving in. Proper management balances processes and people, efficiency and humanity without jeopardizing either one. Okay, well, that's nice, Stephen. What are we talking about? Well, we can have processes together in our business that aren't necessarily easily operated by our people. And so we get into this juggling back and forth. Okay, we've got processes, but how is it affecting our people? And then sometimes we make a decision about people and we should ask, how does this affect our process? And I'm going to give you a really good example, a real world example of this later on. And I'm going to give you a tool that I feel is one of the most important tools, especially in the adversity that we've been through and adversity that we'll continue to go through as we go through the course of our lives and our business. Okay. So what are the best good management best practices? Well, it's management. All right. Now I've said that word several times and you see it on the screen. So great management practices are not intuitive. All right. You'll see on there. I mean, how many of you can relate to what you're seeing on the screen right now? Are you a person that moved up into a management or an executive role? Okay. Because a lot of times people that in our organization, they move up because they did a really good job at their department. They obtained a certain goal, or they obtained certain sales, or they streamlined a process and they showed efficiency, or they provided really good skill sets in an area. And so we move them up into management. But when they get there, they don't necessarily have the tools or the skills. Management is learned. It's a skill. Okay. So we could even take bad managers and we can develop them into great managers by using proven methods. Okay. And the methodologies that I'm going to talk, or at least one methodology that I'm going to talk about here today, is something that everybody can learn, and we're going to get something out of it today. So is everybody ready? Type I know I'm a high energy guy, so just type yes in the chat if you're still there, if you're still on with us. I see a bunch of people still on, and we got some yeses. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, what are we talking about, Stephen? We're talking about proactive management. Proactive management is straightforward. Let me say that again. Proactive management is straightforward. In other words, we provide clarity in our communication. How many times have you heard from someone on your team, or, oh, I thought, or, I think so, ooh, I didn't really understand that, when it was time for a project to end, or time for a project to deliver, or time to deliver a product? That is poor management. We did not provide clarity in our communication. And how do we provide clarity in communication? Well, we hold regular and meaningful meetings to make a decision. And here's the big M word, the meetings. And I know a lot of people are like, oh God, the meeting thing. He's going to talk about my meetings. So let's dive into it, because it's the most effective tool for getting your team, getting consistent results, having clarity in communication, so that you can bring in the emotion of, like Monty said, of leadership. And like even Kevin talked about, focus, right? So we do that through effective meetings. So what is the purpose of a meeting? The purpose of a meeting is to make a decision. That is the ultimate purpose of a meeting. Okay, so we've got all kinds of meetings. We've got daily meetings, we've got weekly meetings, we've got monthly meetings, we've got quarterly meetings, we've got annual meetings. Now I've got the daily and the annual in black in parentheses, because daily meetings, oftentimes those are team meetings. Those are daily huddles. Hey, what's going on? Where are we at? Are we prepared? Any issues coming up? Let's do it. Now, weekly meetings are between interdepartmental, okay, team with team members, CEO, executive teams. We've got to have a weekly meeting. If you're not having a weekly meeting, the question I ask, what's going on? Do people know what's really going on, and are they being held accountable? We have monthly meetings, we have quarterly meetings. It's a rinse and repeat process. So what is the process? One of the things that I like to use is a red zone, yellow zone, green zone in our meetings, okay? So Marvin earlier, he talked about getting into a rhythm. We should actually be looking forward to meetings, because meetings are the backbone that keep us all on track, keep accountability going. And once we learn how to have a good meeting, it's actually great. People want to be led. Okay, when people aren't led, they go different directions. When people aren't held accountable, things just don't get done, or things get done that shouldn't have got done in a way that gives a bad result. So we want consistency of result. And the way we do this is through clarity of communication and good meetings. All right. So what is a green zone? In our meeting, in a green zone is, hey, you know what? Everything's on track. The project that we're working on and the expected results in the timeline that we need is good. Okay, great. Green light. Boom. Let's move on. The yellow zone, you know what? I'm a little behind, or we're a little behind, and the expected results are a bit behind. But you know what? I've come up with a solution. We have a solution. This is what we're proposing. What do you think? Okay, great. It's good. Boom, we're back in the green. We're moving on. The red zone is the, ooh, oh no, there's no way that we're going to hit the deadline or the expected benchmarks. We need to adjust the timing, or we need to reprioritize, or you know what? Need more resources to make that happen. In other words, we use the red light, the yellow light, and the green light to move through the process of a meeting. All right. So we've made a decision in each case, which is the ultimate goal of a meeting, is to make a decision. So a lot of people are like, how many people know what a good format or have a good format in regular meetings? Just raise your hand. If you've got a good format for your meetings and they're effective, raise your hand. If not, here's what I'd like to propose to you to do. This is a tool. And we call it the LION format, L-I-O-N. At bare minimum, you can have this with a one-to-one meeting, with a team meeting, CEO to executive team to departmental to team leaders, however you want to take it on down. But the L is part of our agenda. And mind you, this is just a bare minimum, because I'm a true believer in leadership and management. In leadership, there's communication, and the management is just, let's get to the straightforward, let's make it happen, let's get to the nuts and bolts. So at the very least, write down this format, the LION format. The L stands for, let's review the last meeting goals that we set prior. Now, if you haven't had that meeting yet, first of all, you got to have a meeting, you got to set those goals, and you do that through clear communication. And the person that you're speaking with, I hear this a lot of times. You know what? I had a meeting, I told somebody what to do, and then they did it completely different. Well, you can't tell people what to do. You can show them what needs to be done, but they have to effectively communicate back to you what is going to happen. That's clarity. That's being straightforward. And we know that that's the best format for communication. So our meeting, we're going into our meeting. First of all, we're going to review from our notes, our goals. Are we there yet? We're going to use green light, yellow light, red light. Yeah, I've met the goals, or no, I haven't. There were some issues that came up. Okay, and here is the solution. So L, we review the last meeting goals. I, we discuss any issues that come up and propose some solutions and come to a decision that, yeah, we like those solutions. Now here's a great one, the O. In our meeting, just have a very brief, this isn't a brainstorming session, but it's just in our meeting. Hey, what opportunities are you seeing that maybe we could implement? And you may or may not have it, but what are you seeing? What opportunities exist that we could take on? We'll take a note and we could address that in another forum. And because a lot of times great opportunities come from team members who are in the trenches, and we're at another level and we're not seeing it. So a lot of times we come up with a lot of great ideas and business opportunity because of that. Now the N is, all right, these are the goals or the focus that we're going to complete to our next meeting. All right. So essentially what we've done, we've reviewed our documentation of our last meeting. We've identified issues that came up. We come to a decision on a solution. We look for some opportunities that exist, and then we come up with the next meeting goals. And in the meantime, we're using our emotion and leadership skills so that in our meeting, no matter who we're meeting with, they know where we're going. You're going to hear about with Rose, about mission and our core behaviors, and just keeping people on track. So really good executives inspire through leadership, but they also hold accountability. And the best way to do it is through effective meetings. And there's a lot of different kind of meetings. And I would really encourage you to reach out to a facilitator to learn more about how to do effective meetings. So how do we know if our communication skills are really effective in our company? Well, you know what? We have a tool. We have an anonymous team-wide assessment. Okay, and it's called a 5 disciplines assessment, and you can do this through any of our facilitators. And I've chosen one. The assessment has about 50 questions in it. And a lot of times the CEO will do the assessment on his own and then go through the questions, and then have all the executives or other company-wide managers come in and anonymously do the assessments too. So here's a real world assessment that I'm going to pull up. You're seeing it. And the question in here, it was question number 34. We have a well-executed communication habits throughout the entire organization. Now, as a leader of our organization, you're probably thinking, yeah, we do. But the only real way to find out is through an anonymous assessment. And that's my opinion. And it's proven. It's another proven best practice methodology. So let's zoom into the screen and let's break it down. So in this question, if everybody felt that we had good, effective communication, we had a 50-50 split. I don't really think that's a good thing. So let's kind of look over. There were 0% felt that we absolutely had well-executed communication. We had 50 for the most part, and we had 50% sometimes. So I see some room for improvement here. And the only way to know this is really through an assessment. And that's something that we as facilitators would provide. And I would encourage you to reach out to your local facilitator or to any of us to see how you can do this assessment so that you can see if you're having clear communication and clear management. So real world scenario. I've got a client, they're a CPA tax advisory firm. I'm not going to provide the name because I asked them and they're like, we really don't want anybody to know that we had our problems. And this was what you're seeing up here. We had a strategic thinking execution planning session, which, by the way, if you're not doing that, that is the primary facilitation that you should do at least once a year, and then have follow-ups every quarter. And that ties into then your quarterly meetings, your monthly meetings, and your weekly meetings, even all the way down to personal development, like Monty mentioned, with the daily huddles and the weekly meetings. So in this, we identified in our session, and you'll see I took one of the flip charts and I threw it up here. We had an issue between the advisory division and the accounting division. Okay, now this is a critical process. And actually, with some of you have large enough organizations, this could exist internally. Now, this existed with outside business clients. And the thing that we had identified was that we had because of the adversity in the last year, there was a huge growth in this company because tax and accounting really came to the forefront to apply for EIDL and assistance. And, where are we really at, financially? We really got to get a handle on where we're at. And some of the things that came in were, client files. So that they had a new cloud system, and there was some confusion in it. It says guides. The actual accountants are called guides. We're not communicating to their clients that they had a better people advisory service that they can now onboard. And they needed to get the response time between the accounting division and the advisory division to less than 5 hours. It was like really large. It was unwielding. And then we had to get our request down from clients from the tax division to the accounting division under 36 hours. And you'll see in number 5, it's like, well, yeah, everybody's not on the same page. And there's a reason that this happened. So the next one is some solutions that we came up with. Number 1, the solution, tax and accounting division bottleneck. We had the accounting team have a daily huddle, weekly, monthly meetings. Now I want to back up just a little bit. In this last year, with all the adversity, we implemented some new software, some new communication software that we thought that people would utilize and that everybody would understand the reporting on. Well, it wasn't the case. And it really came down to the accountability of training and onboarding people with it, the accountability of using it, and the accountability of being able to interpret the reports. So here's what happened. Through weekly, daily, monthly meetings with the accounting division, we got them on track to use the software better. And the software enabled when the tax division said, hey, we need this cleaned up so that we can prepare the taxes, so that we can prepare the returns. That was put into the system, but the accounting division wasn't handling it. And then we had the team meetings through the tax advisory and the accounting division. Oh, it seems kind of complicated, but really it's not. We just got together and had some Zoom and face-to-face weekly meetings and monthly meetings and got everybody on the same page. The software is great, but there's nothing that can replace a good Zoom meeting or a good face-to-face meeting. And then we implemented better team training and management software, and we devised a clear process for the people advisory service from the accounting guides to inform their clients. And we did this through using the lion method and using the red zone, green zone, yellow zone. So what are the results of the outcome of having clear communication and having effective meetings? Because I'm just telling you right now, I had a global company that expanded to 60 countries, 12 languages. And this was, I'm a little older guy. This was back in the day before really good internet. And we got into fiber conferences all over the world. And when we did that and we started having effective meetings, we got more on track. Our products were being delivered better. Our airings on television were better. We had more consistency in the results and more efficiency. And we know what efficiency and consistency does. It adds a zero. It drives more profit. And it makes it for a better workplace. So in this particular instance, in this last quarter, I got an email from Lydia, one of the accounting division leaders. Here's some of the results that they got, and it's a little hard to read, but I'll put the bigger ones up there. Their response time increased in 35% from the tax division to the accounting division. That's a big increase, and that was just one quarter. The completion time of getting projects done increased by 50%. Think about it. What's going on in your company that you need to increase by 50%? How would that affect your bottom line? Is that something that you're interested in? PA, that stands for the People Advisory Sales, increased 18%. Now it says 18%, but essentially those sales were zero. So we came up with some results and we added zeros, and results always affect the bottom line and create more dollars. That's my opinion. That's my experience. So I know that I'm high energy. I know that I've given you a lot to digest. And some of you may be thinking, meetings, that's what he's talking about? Absolutely. Now, when it comes to meetings, I just want to give you a little tip. In the younger generation, now when I say younger generation, the 35 to 40, they're really desirous to have more face-to-face meetings, okay? Some of you are precluded to do that, but you do the Zoom. We have to get, and people in 40, 35, 40 in my age group in the 60s and 70s on up, we're more adapt to, we're good with the phone call, we're good with Zoom, and all that. I want to say to you, the venue doesn't matter. It's just getting good at having effective, clear communication, using red light, green light, yellow light, make a decision, and getting clarity of the meeting. So here's your action item that I want to give to you. Your action item is, whether you've got a large executive team or a small executive team, it doesn't matter. I want you to ask yourself, what areas of your organization and your roles do you need to manage with more clarity to get the results you're after? And I want to encourage you to develop a rhythm of meetings, a clarity of communication. Use the Lion format. It's a good starter format. And when I say starter, I really mean starter, because there's some more things to add to a meeting that can bring in the excitement through leadership, that can get everybody moving in the same direction and know where the company is heading, which is so important. It needs to be touched on, in my opinion, at every weekly, monthly, quarterly, and especially the town hall annual meeting. Oh, you're not doing a town hall annual meeting to get everybody jazzed? That's something we need to improve on too. So I want to thank you for sitting with me. I love being high energetic. I hope that I've energized in you. If there's anybody that's excited about starting meetings and having more clarity of communication, more efficiency, put it in the chat box. I'm excited. I'm going to start holding better meetings. I want to see that. And so also in the chat, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for your devotion, for improvement, for development, and to getting that well-oiled machine going. And last but not least, what was your number one takeaway from the execution discipline? And are you going to do it? Well, I'm seeing some people getting excited.
I love it. Look at people getting excited. I love the energy. And I tell you, I'm about as high energy as you. Someone said, I want to slow down. I was like, I don't know how to. I remember Marvin in one of his speeches. One of the first things I learned from Marvin was, I'm not going to talk slower, listen faster, type deal. So that was always one of my favorite things. So, whoa, right on, Stephen. Thank you. Meaningful meetings, not just a meeting, not just a meeting. The meeting is meaningful and efficient. Meetings equal decision making, the lion process. Wow, that's powerful. Love that. So thank you very much for your energy. Thank you very much for your time today and speaking to us on building those relationships and building better meetings through better meetings. That's what I'm trying to say. So thank you very much, Stephen. All right, y'all. What'd y'all think? How are you guys doing? Well, it's time to get up, stretch again, refill that glass and refresh your mind. When we come back, Rose Begay will be on stage to discuss culture. And then we'll have a Q&A. So hopefully you have some questions in the Q&A. I know we want to elaborate on a couple things. And then Monty will come back and tie everything up together. So let's take a quick break, refill that glass to refresh your mind. And I'll be back in 3 minutes.